Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a video on my experience with breast implants and why I'm having mine removed. I'm really hoping that this video will educate you guys on breast implants and hopefully help influence women out there who have breast implants as to how they can be harmful for your body, and women who are looking into breast implants, and hopefully help them to reconsider their decision to get them. If you don't have breast implants, I guarantee you know someone who has them, whether they're a family member, a coworker, a friend. Tons of women have breast implants. It is the #1 requested procedure of all cosmetic surgery clinics in the whole country. On average, 300,000 women per year get breast implants. There is at least 10 million women worldwide who have them. Breast implants started, I think, about in the 1950s or 60s. They were very unpopular at the time, and just over the decades and with the right marketing, they've really exploded. Nowadays, you can look on any magazine or movie, and most of the women, if not all, have breast implants or have had cosmetic surgeries. So they probably had breast implants and liposuction or some sort of fat reduction to make them have this, what we see as this ideal image. And so women who have not had these surgeries are now looking at these magazines and videos, and yeah, it's very appealing. And if all these women are doing it, they're beautiful, they're doing well, no consequences, why not, right? That was the idea I had when I got them at the age of 24. I was not 100% on board with getting them until I had a consultation with a plastic surgeon. I still like the guy who did the surgery. I think he's, really, he did a great job. I never had any localized issues, never any capsular contracture or ruptures as far as I'm concerned, unless I've had a silent rupture. So I got them in. I was very happy with them. 3 years after I got them in, I had a very powerful spiritual experience in which I prayed to God. I had a powerful encounter with God. I have another video on that if you want more information on it. But ultimately, what came out of that was that God told me that this was not in His plans for me, and that it's self-mutilation. So I had a complete change of heart about what I did to myself, and I also saw it as completely unnecessary after that encounter, because God showed me and He allowed me to feel my true value and how amazing I am as a human being, and how silly it is to try to make my outward appearance look great, because God values our soul and He thinks that we're beautiful. He doesn't look at the outward appearance. To God is not a big deal. And so I knew at that moment I was going to have them removed at some point. For me, it was pretty much finding a plastic surgeon I felt comfortable with, and then finances. So I went into a consultation. The first 2 consultations, I didn't feel comfortable with them, and I just didn't feel at a place where I was ready financially to do it. So I waited until early 2019, about a year and a half away from my 10-year mark, where I've heard that ruptures increase, more complications health-wise can increase with implants. And so I started looking into it. I joined a couple of Facebook groups online that were for breast implant removal support. So I started joining these groups, and all I saw was women who had these chronic illnesses that were improving after they had removed their breast implants. And I thought to myself, wow, I feel so sorry for these women. I'm so glad I don't have these issues. Until I heard a woman who had something that I had say also that she had gotten better. So she said that she felt like a 70-year-old woman when she had them in, and a year after explant, she felt like her age, a young 30-year-old. And that really caught my attention, because since 2016 to 2019, I was having chronic illnesses, starting with chronic congestion from 2016 to 2017 for 8 months. My body did not recover. I had chronic congestion. I had chronic fatigue. I would get dizzy. I was extremely tired. My body was not healing the congestion for 8 months. And I finally went to the doctor, got antibiotics, and was on like allergy medicine, everything before it finally cleared up. So my body wasn't healing on its own, but I mean, it was like dealing with these really horrible symptoms every day, but just pushing through it. And so finally my body healed. And then in 2018, I started having a really difficult time breathing, walking up the stairs. Now I'm 32 at this time, 32 years old, walking up the stairs, and all of a sudden my heart and my lungs feel like it's like too much work for me to go up the stairs. And from my knees down, my legs are hurting. My knees are hurting so bad. It's almost like my muscles are communicating to me, stop this. I can't, stop making me try to do this. Like, this is too much work for me. And I'm like, I'm just going up the stairs. Why is my body having such a hard time doing a very simple task? And I'm not an out of shape person at all. I walk over 10,000 steps a day, but as soon as I start to do something that's above like walking on a straight plane, my body can't handle it. And also in the fall of 2018, I'm not really going to go through all my symptoms because I don't want to give a laundry list, but I was having severe health problems, and I was feeling like my brain and my heart was something severely wrong. I ended up in the ER one night. They took all these tests. They said that everything was normal, and I saw a doctor 3 different times, or twice, I think, twice, and then I switched doctors after her. And they all just said I had anxiety or recovery disorder. They just say that my body's not recovering. It's not healing like it should. And of course, there's no answers. They just said I had anxiety, and they had me on trazodone. They got me started on trazodone because it's supposed to help with recovery disorders. Well, I was completely calm when I took it, and that stuff made my heart beat so fast. Like it was not my anxiety, it was induced by the medication. So if I have a recovery disorder and this medication is supposed to help me, it's not helping me. It's actually making me worse. So something wasn't right. The doctors still haven't figured out what has been going on. And so I did recover from this very severe state that I was at for 2.5 months in 2018. I mean, I was severely sick. I don't really remember all my symptoms, but it was just really bad for 2.5 months. I slowly recovered to where I could lift my legs up without extreme pain. But it's now 1.5 years later, and I am not fully recovered from that. That was, 2018. It's the end of 2019 right now. So my body's not healing on its own. And so I have felt like an old woman on the inside. A 33-year-old should not be feeling the way I do. When I exert myself, my heart, my legs, everything just gets very tired. It's almost like it's too much work for me. And recently I developed athlete's foot. I believe this is because I have a weakened immune system. My body's not properly fighting things off the way it should be. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys. That is my personal journey. What I have heard from other women and why I believe removing my breast implants is going to help is when I went on these breast implant sites, I'm finding that women in large numbers, all these women on this page have chronic sicknesses. They have a variety of the symptoms I'm going to list. They have either chronic GI issues, chronic migraines, edema in their legs, fibromyalgia symptoms, joint pain, muscle pain, shortness of breath, problems breathing. I heard of one woman, she was totally dependent on inhalers to get her through the day with breathing, and when she had her breast implants removed, no inhalers needed at all. I've heard of more than one testimony of women who had vision problems, and as soon as they wake up from surgery, their vision problem is gone. Now, is there a way to test these things? No, because every woman's body reacts totally different. So the medical community, plastic surgeons, do not recognize these things at all. Recently, the FDA had looked into this a little more this year. There was a number of women coming forward talking about how breast implants made them extremely ill, but when they had them removed, these symptoms would relieve completely or significantly. The FDA just called for more research. I personally don't think the research is going to happen because they're calling for the implant companies to do the research. Well, the implant companies were supposed to be doing research decades ago. They did some research, but they haven't been doing the long-term decades research that they were supposed to do. So ultimately they do write in the back of the booklets. Like for example, I had Mentor implants, smooth implants. So I didn't read the booklet that they gave me. I probably just glanced through the beginning part. Now this year I looked in the back part, and they do acknowledge that women do get autoimmune issues and issues related to their rheumatology. But they say it's like a very small percentage, like 1%. Well, they're not doing the long-term studies. I didn't even start having symptoms until 6 years after my implants. I didn't notice anything to that severe degree like I have the last few years. So if they're only testing women in the first few years, they're missing out on a whole group of women that are getting long-term side effects. I personally think the numbers have got to be closer to 100%. If you look, there is a law of science that states to every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. You know, what we're sold when we're given these breast implants, when we're going into a consultation, first off, I want to say that probably over 95% of all plastic surgeons are male. So that would mean that 96% at least of plastic surgeons do not try or test their most popular demanded product, breast implants. They don't have them themselves. They're not an actual customer of what they're selling. So they're giving all this information given by the FDA, which honestly is not for the people. It is for the big corporations. They're giving faulty information to their customers. Their customers are they're buying a fantasy. What I bought was a fantasy. I really thought I was going to have breast implants the rest of my life. I would never have to exchange them. I'm not gonna have capsular contracture. I'm not gonna have a rupture. That's what I wanted to think, because I couldn't imagine just going through another revisional surgery. My mind didn't want to go there. So I just blocked that out of my mind. And you know, if I would have known that it was going to affect my health like this, never would I have gotten them, because my health is way more important to me than my looks. I only got these thinking there was going to be no consequences to my health. And now I see it in a completely different perception. They look amazing, right? They do. They look amazing. My surgeon did a great job. So he was a perfect salesman, because he told me the wonderful side of it, how great they're going to look. He totally left out all the symptoms and sicknesses that women can get from it. He told me that there is a chance of getting capsular contracture, but he said my chances are super low and it's not going to happen to me. That's what he told me. You know, they want you to leave there saying, yes, I want this. I'm going to spend thousands of dollars, because plastic surgeons get their money mainly from, this is their most highly requested item. So if they were to actually accept the fact that this is not good for women, they wouldn't be rich. They would be medium class like everyone else. And honestly, going into plastic surgery would not be worth it for most plastic surgeons if breast implants were not around. And now they're starting fat transfer. You know, that's supposed to be the alternative. But, you know, this experience has made me completely rethink every cosmetic procedure. You know, just use your common sense, people. When you take fat out of your body and you're injecting it into your breast tissue, there are tons of mammary glands in there. How can they see where they're putting that fat into? What if they clogged a mammary gland? It could happen. And I guarantee you, if you go into a consultation with your plastic surgeon and they talk to you about fat transfer, they're going to completely mitigate that. They're going to tell you, they're going to make you feel totally comfortable with the procedure. But I've seen pictures of women on my breast implant site with completely red breasts because they're infected and inflamed after fat transfer that has lasted for months. That's not every case. That can happen to women. Why risk it? Do you really know where they're injecting the fat? Ladies, just stop mutilating your bodies, okay? If I would have gone back and redone this, I would have just gotten some cool sculpting on my stomach and I would have been totally happy. I wasn't completely sold on having breast implants, okay? Like I said, my plastic surgeon was a great businessman. He's a great salesman. They're not just plastic surgeons. They're owners of this business and they're selling a product. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have seen, but Kim Kardashian has recently been diagnosed with lupus and psoriasis. These are autoimmune conditions. There is a woman in the breast implant removal group who said she used to have lupus when she had breast implants. She had the breast implants removed. The lupus went away. All right. I believe Kim Kardashian her body is reacting from the decades of Juvederm she's pumping in her face, her cheeks, her lips. Look at a picture of her before, you guys. She's so beautiful. She was so beautiful. It's really sad that she felt the need to she has breast and butt implants. She still does. If you look at her other picture, she looks like a normal woman. And honestly, I've seen the most recent picture of her. She looks to me like a mutant. And I don't mean to be rude, but it's disgusting to me. Like, it doesn't even look normal anymore. And this is supposed to be the poster child, the picture perfect of what beauty is in our country. And I think Kim Kardashian is the poster child of plastic surgery and cosmetic centers, because now she has lupus and she has psoriasis. Her body is fighting back at these injections she's putting and these implants she's putting in her body. One other thing I learned this year was that in silicone, there are over a dozen toxic chemicals, dozens of toxic chemicals, that if you were to ingest them, you would get deathly ill. I used to think silicone was a pure agent. It's not. I was not informed of that during my consult, and I guarantee you, if plastic surgeons were really to inform women of what would happen to them after implants, it would totally decrease the sales by a significant number. Like I said, where it would probably kill the plastic surgery industry or significantly reduce it. You're still going to have those women who are going to do it. They're addicted to it. Beverly Hills probably still going to do it. And this reminds me a lot like the tobacco industry. I was born in 1985, so I got to see this total shift in the tobacco industry. Now, common sense tells us smoking kills you, but I remember watching on the television the tobacco companies, and they had like 12 different reps, CEOs in court, and every single one of them denied that smoking was linked to cancer or smoking was harmful to your bodies. Like, they can just say that because there's no research, because everything is based on research. So if the research isn't there, they have nothing in court. Use your common sense, people. We all know we're not supposed to have cigarettes and that smoke come into our lungs. We all know that's deadly to people. We all know it causes lung cancer. I mean, it doesn't take research, but they were able to get away with it in court because there was no research. Well, thank goodness they actually did have the research, and because of that research, it's completely changed the smoking business. Now, everyone knows cigarettes kill. Unfortunately, cigarettes are still in the market. I see the same thing happening to breast implants. Even if we can prove it, which could take decades more, because they need these long-term studies, even when we prove it, breast implants will probably still be on the market. But the word needs to be getting out. And that's what I want to do, because you probably know someone, like I said, who has breast implants. Now, women are never going to tell you they have breast implants. They're going to want you to think they're natural. For me, having breast implants, and mine aren't even that big. Mine are like smaller almost than most of the women on the site. I can't imagine what it's like to have the sizes that some of these women do. It's got to be excruciatingly painful and just crushing their entire bodily systems. But, even with what I have, I'm still experiencing all these symptoms. So women aren't going to tell you they have breast implants, but we need to get the word out as much as possible, you guys, because doctors are not going to their patients and telling them, hey, you might have, this symptom could be related to your breast implants. Now, there is a research article that I read that showed that 98% of women who had autoimmune problems while they had implants and they had them removed, 98% of them improved, their symptoms improved, whereas 100% of the women who kept their breast implants in who had autoimmune issues, their symptoms worsened. Hello? I mean, there's a research article right there completely linking autoimmune issues to breast implants. Think about what you're doing to your bodies, ladies. Think about it. You're literally cutting your body open. You're ripping off your muscle from your rib cage, and you're shoving a toxic implant that has toxic chemicals in it underneath your muscle. How can that not affect your health in a poor way? Another thing that a lot of women have is their body will just puff up, and you'll see pictures of women before and after. They'll take a picture of their face. Not every picture I see this happens, but on occasion, I see a dramatic picture of a woman's face before and after her surgery, like within a day or two, I mean. And her face has completely gotten skinnier because it's like an autoimmune reaction where your body's like, it's like inflated. It's like freaking out because our bodies are designed to remove foreign objects. And this is a foreign object that you're like forcing into your body and your body cannot get it out. And so it's like all the systems start going crazy over time. And the way I see it, it's like cigarettes. You're not going to have COPD the day you start smoking cigarettes. It takes years of smoking to get that disease. It takes years of smoking to get lung cancer. That's how I see breast implants. The longer you keep them in, the more it breaks your body and your system and your health down to where you're getting weaker and sicker over time. I'm getting worse. My health has been getting worse. My surgery is booked for 3 months out right now, but I am so excited to just be healthy. I'm just very excited to be healthy. That's all I care about. That's always been most important to me. You know, like I said, I only did this based on a fantasy, you know, that nothing negative was ever going to happen. But the cost is way too high. I mean, now I'm going to be $12,000 in debt due to the surgery, and my health has been affected. I had this for the 9 years of what's supposed to be a very youthful time in my life, and how negatively did it affect me. I'm just so thankful to figure this out at this age and to be sharing it. I wanted to spread this information throughout the whole country, throughout the whole world as much as possible. This is the way we're going to spread it because doctors are not telling their patients. So, you know, ladies, you really don't have a baseline of your true health until you have your implants removed. You don't know if whatever symptom you're having is related to your breast implants until you have them removed and you start on your journey to health and detox. Because I'm sure that these chemicals in the implants start to probably seep into our bloodstream over time, you know, just by being next to it. And being stuck and trapped in the body. I have a hard time believing that those chemicals don't just start to kind of get into our bloodstream over time. Now, our bodies do make a barrier around the implant as soon as possible. I didn't know that until this year because it is a foreign object. So our bodies do try to protect us from the chemicals coming from the implants. But I've heard of women who they get their implants taken out and their surgeon says, there is silicone in your body. We don't know where it's at, but it's missing from the implant and it wasn't in your tissue. So that is very toxic to our bodies. It is very dangerous. Breast implants are known as toxic bags by a lot of women. That's the truth of the matter of what they are. And now 9 years after having them, I can actually see them for what they are. And I just want to help as many women as I can out there. You know, do cool sculpting, do liposuction. Don't mess with fat transfer and don't mess with breast implants. And stay away from Juvederm. Stay away from fillers. That stuff is, you know, they'll tell you it's natural, they'll tell you it's safe. Of course they're going to say that because that's their business. That's how they go on their extravagant vacations, you guys. You know, but the truth is, just like anything else, over time your immune system will start to freak out because it can only take so much of those chemicals. And I just have to end with this, that any woman who has breast implants and you're like all natural, use all natural cleaners, you're vegan or you're very clean in your eating because you're very into the natural, but you have breast implants, you're a hypocrite. I have known 2 women like this. They're very sweet women. I love them. But listen, you cannot be an all natural woman and have breast implants because they are full of toxic chemicals and they are in your body. And this could be the reason why you've started going gluten-free and all that, because you're having health problems from these toxic chemicals. So anyways, this is the very first video I'm doing. My surgery to remove these breast implants and the scar tissue around it is going to be a few months out. So as my journey progresses, I'm going to be putting more videos out there. I'm going to be doing follow-ups on, you know, maybe the day after surgery or the week after surgery, just to kind of show people how my symptoms are improving. I just believe that my symptoms will improve. I have a faith, you know, I don't have clinical research behind it. Well, there is a little clinical research, but, you know, all I know is that I just believe I'm going to be getting better. I'm just going to be posting videos on my health and how it's progressing and, you know, the good, bad, and the ugly, all of it. as my journey continues. So, and one more thing I was going to tell the ladies out there who are going to have breast implants and are now wanting to look into getting them removed, you also need to remove the capsule around your implants. The capsule is the layer that your body creates to protect itself. So it's like scar tissue. Now, it would be a lot easier for me to just have the implants removed. It would be half the cost. I was very tempted to do that, to do this, but the ladies in my implant removal page really convinced me that it's not safe to keep the capsule inside your body, because if you look at breast implant capsules online in pictures, there's sometimes yellow and black things growing on them. They're disgusting. They do not dissolve. Most plastic surgeons will tell you they're just going to break up and dissolve in your body. They don't. They're too tough. They need to be removed because you can continue to have autoimmune issues if you keep that in your body. So it is more invasive. You know, this was not something that I was informed of when I got my breast implants, but it is the most healthiest. Now, there are women who just remove their breast implants and feel better, but you're kind of taking a risk because your symptoms might not improve. And some women go in for a second surgery to have that scar tissue removed. Save your money and just do it all in one surgery. It's called an en bloc. And just start on your journey of health. And I would love to hear from you ladies, you guys, just all of your experiences. Comment below. I'd be happy to hear from you. And be healthy, be well, and spread the word. God bless. Have a great day. Bye.